Well, it is the first day of the month of February 2020. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having a very lovely evening. My name is Zainab Ismail and we have a lot we've lined up for you. This is some of our top stories.
Tonight,
the eyes have it.
Completion of stalled projects, a change in the structure of government.
We support powerful Prime Minister.
Leaders from Ukambani lay out the region's resolutions. And
nobody will abuse Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na aingie kwa mkutano wangu. Hakuna, atolewe.
Ambaye hatapea heshima kwa rais wetu, tutamkuta kwake kwa nyumba.
The renewed drive to tame the president's critics as the BBI train keeps on its reggae track.
Kama umebaki nje, shauri yako. Gari hii itaenda na haina break.
Watu wamezoea BBI ni matusi. BBI ni kutukana huyu, ni kutukana yule. Sisi wanasiasa ndio tunakosea mwananchi.
Also tonight, when the mind is a battlefield and giving up the fight seems easier.
I'm just feeling I want to die. Oh my God. You don't even know how to explain how you feel. You're just feeling like life is not worth it anymore.
A look at the numbers and tough reality of mental health in Kenya. Plus, government says the 88 Kenyan students in Wuhan have no signs of the virus. One suspected to be infected, cleared and discharged from Kenyatta National Hospital.
Live from Nation Center, this is NTV Weekend Edition with Zainab Ismail.
All right, my co-pilot in the sign language interpretation is David Agondoa. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has once again hit out at corrupt leaders, vowing that his government will not protect them. The head of state, in reference to former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu's ouster, said leaders should be faithful with taxpayers' money or risk losing their positions. The president, who is touring his central Kenya backyard in seeking to reclaim and solidify his dwindled support, lashed out at leaders from the region, throwing insults at him instead of focusing on development. And Melito Letenges has reported that the head of state insists that the BBI is not about sidelining anyone. And of course, we'll be bringing you that report right now.
In his tour of Kirinyaga and Meru counties, President Uhuru Kenyatta made yet another major announcement targeting the common man in a bid to pacify the disquiet in the mountain. Rice farmers have yet another reason to smile with the commitment of a 500 million shillings revolving fund.
Tumesema bei ya mkulima ambaye mkulima atakuwa analipwa na nataka tusikizane. Bei ya padi iwe shilingi 85 shillings per kilo.
Bei ukaongeza, wale wanapeleka maziwa sasa kwa new KCC wanalipwa 33 shillings, na tumeambia cooperatives wale wanadeliver hiyo maziwa lazima muongezee hiyo bei kwa mkulima yule anauza kwa new KCC.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has once again stamped his authority on the war against graft, this time warning leaders involved in corrupt dealings, saying their days are numbered.
Na ndio tunasema sasa kutoka na kwenda mbele, wewe ukienda kufanya mambo hayo ushikwe. Usianze kusema sijui hapa kama MCA wako area mko huko, muwe chonjo, kuwa chonjo. Unaona yale yanafanyika kwingine huko na huko na huko.
The president, in a bid to fortify his political turf, has hit out at dissidents from the mountain.
Namuri azuri na tumia mwamutogoragia huko. Matiago tida makenyigirira nini ndikoragwo na uru nao. Mareke bito ira wakwa. Neterera macio mao marucio. Kana nete? Kwa sasa ni nini? Kazi.
The head of state has also reiterated his commitment to uniting the nation under Building Bridges initiative. Only a united nation can move forward in development, he says.
Mimi sihami Kenya, Raila hami Kenya. Sasa haja ya kupigana kila miaka mitano ni ya nini? Lakini wengine wanazunguka wakiconfuse wananchi, sijui hii, sijui ni siasa gani.
Mheshimiwa Rais, hapa hii area si tunajua tuko na dume moja tu. Kama kuna BBI na 3 ama aina 2. Ile BBI tuko nyuma yake ni ile yako ambaye muliweka kamati pamoja na Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga mukasema this is what we want to address.
Watu wamezoea BBI ni matusi. BBI ni kutukana huyu, ni kutukana yule. Sisi wanasiasa ndio tunakosea mwananchi.
In Meru, Uhuru launched a new KCC milk processing plant. The projects are expected to turn around the economic fortunes of the region. Milita Oletenges, NTV.
All right. Insult and disrespect the president at your own risk. This is the resounding message coming from various leaders allied to the head of state who have now become more vocal in their boss's defense. In Kitui County, chaos almost ensued at Building Bridges Initiative rally after leaders allied to the deputy president demanded to be allocated seats in the front row of the main dais. Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria was roughed up and almost thrown out of the venue. This is a part of the picture, of course, of what was happening. Well, our reporter Vincent Odwar is currently working on that report and will be getting a more comprehensive story in just a moment. But leaders in the southeastern region have backed the calls for a powerful prime minister position and an expanded top leadership. This criticism inviting desire is among the resolutions the leaders have compiled and made public at the Kitui chapter of the Building Bridges Initiative rallies. The leaders also want more done to ensure they have a more food-secure region. Leila Mohammed breaks down the resolutions and recommendations that were presented to the handshake co-principal, Raila Odinga.
The Ukambani leadership sought to set its best foot forward as it played host to the BBI rally at Kitui Stadium. They danced to the tunes of a document that has been fashioned as one that will change the fortunes of many in the country. One of the recommendations touches on the country's structure of government.
We support powerful Prime Minister and expansion of the executive to include 2 deputy Prime Ministers and engender the top seats where opposite gender is either head or deputy. Make Senate the upper House, cabinet ministers to be appointed both from elected and non-elected at both national and county levels.
This point, which has also been raised by other leaders, has been the subject of criticism on account of adding pressure to the already burdensome wage bill for the benefit of the big boys and big girls, while the common mwananchi are hard-pressed by the weight of the struggling economy. The Ukambani leadership also says it would like Mwingi to be a standalone county. At the local level, the leaders say their challenges should be addressed, making proposals to address the ripple effect of low rains and thereby wanting food supply.
Na projects zile zimekuwa stalled ziwe revived kama Grand Falls Dam, Twake Dam, Wikithuke Irrigation Scheme, Water Leather Factory, Makueni Government Residential Houses, etc.
This tied into another resolution where Kitui and Makueni are already hosting factories that transform food crops into consumable products. But they say that national government should do more to aid in crop development and value addition for a region that produces food crops like mangoes and green grams.
Should review the National Strategic Food Reserve to include crops from our region, especially dengu.
The leaders also want Konza City completed, having been launched in the Mwai Kibaki era and sold as the Silicon Valley of Kenya, but remains far behind schedule. This as well as building of industrial parks. They have also sought to have minerals like iron ore and limestone that are found in the region to be processed there and exported to other counties. They further say the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA should not be the only state agency that sells medicine to counties. This alongside inclusivity through youth and women empowerment as well as industrialization. And the question of approval of the resolutions was put to the people for approval.
All in favor of the opinion, say aye. The ayes have it.
Various women leaders have called for affirmative action in seeking to have balance and equity.
The adoption and application of the opposite gender rule to all organs of the national and county levels of government. Divisive elections, mixed member proportional representation through party lists is good and progressive in the quest of gender equality.
The southeastern region's resolutions were handed to ODM party leader Raila Odinga. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
All right, thanks Leila for that report. Now, the government must sufficiently fund the judiciary for it to perform its mandate as envisaged in the Constitution and deliver the convictions in corruption cases. This is according to Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi and his Ford Kenya counterpart Moses Wetangula. They were speaking in Vihiga County during retired Judge Daniel Anganyanya's send-off, where Chief Justice David Maraga hailed the late judge as a man of honor. Zakis Mosame now reports from Vihiga.
Chief Justice David Maraga led a number of members of the judiciary, lawyers and politicians in mourning the late retired Justice Daniel Aganyanya at his Kisasi village home in Hamisi constituency, Vihiga County. Maraga eulogized Aganyanya as a person who stood for justice.
I want to continue urging my people.
ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi used the opportunity to throw his weight behind the BBI but urged caution.
Shida ambayo tunapata sasa ni kwamba tulipitisha katiba ya 2010 lakini wataalamu wetu hawakufanya costing vizuri, na sasa institutions za maana kama judiciary na kwengine wanahangaika kwa sababu we did not foresee and cost properly.
The judiciary has often found itself blamed for the slow pace of the war on corruption, especially in cases touching on individuals with influence and wealth.
To serve the country with dedication. To serve the country with dedication, as Justice Aganyanya did, so that when our time comes, if we are not there, people will say, so and so entertained no corruption, like Justice Aganyanya entertained no corruption in his court. Serve with dedication, so that the people of Kenya will be satisfied with what we are doing.
Leta memorandum yenu kwa BBI, so that the money coming to the judiciary is not dependent on the generosity of the Minister for Finance or the government of the day or Parliament. Engrave in the Constitution that a certain percentage of the national budget is set aside for the judiciary, its work and its development.
The late Justice Aganyanya retired in 2012 and died at the age of 82. He is survived with a widow, Lady Justice Roslyn Nambuye, and 8 children. Zakis Masame, NTV, Vihiga.
All right, thanks, Zakis. Now, the 4 men reported to have gone missing in Kwale County have been found dead and their bodies dumped at the Tsavo National Park. The 4 had disappeared between November and December 2019. Families of the deceased, together with human rights groups, have condemned the killings and are accusing the Interior Ministry and police of laxity in their work. Mel Miendo reports.
The families of 4 people who went missing in Kwale County assemble at the Makindu Level 4 Hospital for a task that they would never have wished for, to identify the bodies of their loved ones. The grief that sits in their hearts is deep and still sinking in. The 4 lifeless bodies were found at the Tsavo National Park, their bodies mutilated with signs of torture evident on each of them. Usama Nasir went missing on 30th November 2019, while Juma Said, Halfan Linuku and Abdallah Nasir disappeared on 22nd December 2019. The families had hoped that they would return home alive, only to hear news of their gruesome killings.
Wamepitia dhulma ya aina ya mwisho, wamejazwa vitu midomoni, wengine wamekatika shingo, wengine hata hawawezi kutambulikana ela mzazi wake mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo mimi nalilia sana hii serikali. Hivi vitendo vinatendeka, hata watu kuja kutupwa hapo msituni, wao wako wapi?
They however suspect foul play, accusing the police of involvement in the disappearance and murder of their kin.
Imeonekana wazi kwa CCTV gari ya aina ya Land Cruiser KCD 159S ikimchukua, wakimtia ndani ya gari, wakienda naye hadi wa leo hatujamwona.
Kwa roho yangu mimi nasikia ile mbaya sana. Hata imani ya hiyo serikali hivi sasa imenitoka. Kwa kweli ukiniambia nipige kura, sijui nipigie nani.
Human rights groups joined the family members in condemning the disappearances and killings that are being witnessed majorly in the coast.
All this is happening at a time when we have a fully functioning interior ministry, we have a fully functioning police service, and we are asking, how come these incidences are occurring?
Mel Miendo, NTV.
Now, at least 88 Kenyan students are in Wuhan city, the epicenter of the 2019 novel coronavirus, but none of them are exhibiting any symptoms of the virus. This is according to a statement from the Ministry of Health, which also urges Kenyans to avoid all but essential travel to China. Kenya's ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, is already in China to assess the situation and is expected to give a comprehensive report next week. Silas Apollo reports.
As the world grapples with the epidemic of the 2019 novel coronavirus, the government still remains tight-lipped on whether or not it will evacuate Kenyans living in China, particularly Wuhan province. The Ministry of Health, however, says that all the 88 students in Wuhan have been accounted for and they all remain safe and free of the virus. The student who had been quarantined at the Kenyatta National Hospital for suspected coronavirus illness has been discharged after tests came back negative. Since the outbreak of the disease, Kenyans in China have raised concerns over the government's silence, accusing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of not offering them any assistance. But now information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs indicates that Kenya's ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, is in Beijing to explore possible solutions. The move comes when countries across the world have been evacuating their citizens, suspending flights and issuing travel advisories to contain the spread of the virus. The Ministry of Health says it is closely monitoring the situation, with surveillance increased at the country's points of entry. A statement from the ministry also says the government is in constant communication with Chinese authorities and the World Health Organization on the status of Kenyan students in China. Silas Apollo, NTV.
All right, let's now talk about mental health and why it matters to have a conversation around it. Let's get some context with some data. Now, 450 million people worldwide are living with a mental illness. Now, this is according to the World Health Organization, which also says 1 in 4 of us Kenyans will experience a mental or neurological disorder at some point in our lifetime. So where does our country stand when it comes to the state of mental health? Well, the WHO has placed Kenya as the country with the 4th highest number of depressed people in Africa and 9th globally. Now in numbers, 1.9 million people are depressed, which, by the way, is the most common mental health disorder and the leading cause of disability around the world. Now with that in mind, here's a further picture of the struggle. Only 13% of health facilities in the country offer any service for mental health patients, and only 11% of the facilities offer treatment for psychosis and depression. Let's build the mental picture even further. Now, 5 in every 6 Kenyans who suffer from mental illness do not receive treatment. One of the ripple effects is suicide. Now, 4 out of 5 Kenyans who take their own lives are depressed at the time of death. And that, listen to this, men are 2 times more likely to commit suicide than women. Let's break down that number a little more. Now, mental health experts say half of the people that go to hospital have depression. And 50% of patients in general wards in any hospital are depressed. 60% of people in a cancer ward are depressed. The reality is there are only 100 psychiatrists in Kenya and less than 500 psychiatric nurses, all to serve the 47 million Kenyans, not to mention the foreigners in our borders. Yes, that's the reality. And because those numbers are not just numbers, there are various symptoms to watch out for that experts have outlined that point to a mental health issue. For example, if you start eating or sleeping too much or too little, this might be a cause of concern. Isolating yourself from people and wanting to just stay alone for long periods, feeling numb or like nothing matters, having feelings of helplessness or hopelessness, drinking alcohol and using drugs more than the usual should be an indicator for you. While other symptoms you can also watch out for include confusion, forgetfulness, yelling or fighting with family and friends, severe mood swings, hearing voices or believing things that are not true. Now, this range from mental health patients, but it can be a pointer to get professional advice. And these are some of the realities of some people. Let's take a sneak peek into a case of a new parent. See, motherhood is a journey laced with the expectation of bonding between mother and child. But then what happens when the mother develops extreme fear and dislike for the child? Well, Eunice Omolo sat down with Jane Mikwa, who narrates how her antenatal clinics did not prepare her for postpartum depression.
It is playtime for Jane Mikwa and her children. She is a mother of 3. It has been 2 years since she came out of postpartum depression, which she sank into the day after giving birth to her second-born daughter, Joella.
The first 4 months with this baby it was one of the hardest times in my life. I don't want to wake up every day. I don't want to wake up. I want to sleep and never wake up because the depressing feelings, they are so deep and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't watch a comedy and laugh and they go away. No. But at that time, those mushy feelings about baby, no. Remember, I'm even afraid to touch this baby. But now I'm being pushed. No, you have to still breastfeed this baby, which I'm finding I'm very angry at it, irritable. At that time, basically nothing is going through your mind because you are not able to bond with your baby. So the breastfeeding was just something I'm doing. There's nothing, nothing. At that time, it's actually a bother. This little person wants, I have to, at that time you're just feeling this is too much. It's a bother for me. I'm feeling useless. I'm just feeling, I want to die. Oh my God. You don't even know how to explain how you feel. You're just feeling like life is not worth it anymore. There's no hope in you. That thing sucks every hope, desire in you. Everything about you that you knew and you enjoyed, it's not you. It's not you. And for me, I think I kept on asking myself, honestly, something like this, no clinic could have thought to tell me that something like this can happen to me as a mother. And the more I started reading about it and getting more information about it, I realized this thing is a sickness. And it has to be dealt with as such. So when you go to clinic and you're they're checking for your pressure, those things that could bring preeclampsia and all, this is also something that you should be part of what they're talking about. Now imagine a mother, ushago, mashinani uko. You don't have the money. The medication, seeing a psychiatrist, psychologist, very expensive. But for me, I can say that I was given medication immediately.
According to the World Health Organization, 2 out of 10 women in developing countries suffer from clinical depression shortly after childbirth, while 1 out of 5 women suffer the same during pregnancy. As a result, the child's growth and development may be negatively affected.
All the studies are suggesting that a large population in this country is affected by mental health problems. The burden is huge, and one of our tasks is to think about documenting this and tracking it over time to ensure that we are addressing the problems.
Traditionally, mental illness was associated with curses, witchcraft and spiritual problems. The diseases can be treated and managed if and when addressed appropriately. In December 2019, the President ordered the formation of the task force that is expected to table its report and findings to guide in policy formulation.
The likelihood is that the task force will also be making recommendations on embedding the views of Kenyans in all matters to do with healthcare delivery, and that could well be one of them.
Jane is just one out of a number of women who have seen it, battled it, and survived the darkest moments in motherhood and now embrace life happily. A moment that lurks in the shadows, waiting to haunt at the slightest trigger. Eunice Omolo, NTV, Nairobi.
I always think of someone who's disturbed in their mind, someone who doesn't have the will to decide, and someone who doesn't have the will to decide on issues pertaining her or him. And sometimes people tend to take advantage of them because they don't have that.
Number one, I can think of them as a threat because you don't know what to expect from them. And number two, you would, since you don't know what has caused the disorder, you would feel pity for them. I would feel pity for them.
I know that many people are trying to live beyond their means. There is the definition of success in our days is like a house, a car, big money, and most of people are being pushed to achieve that, and they are not able.
Ambapo mtu anapokuwa na matatizo ya kiakili najisikia vibaya sana kwa sababu hiyo ni maisha yake na hawezi fanya kitu chochote kwa maisha yake. Hata kujitafutia unga ya watoto hawezi kupata.
Wakati nasikia mtu ako na matatizo ya akili, huwa inashtuka sana, nashindwa huyo mtu kama huyo unaweza msaidia kwa njia gani ama anaweza jikimu aje kimaisha.
Somebody who is maybe abnormal, maybe the mind system is not functioning well and also cannot reason properly.
Utapata wengi hata ukamwongelesha mtu hata hayuko pale, wewe unaongea na yeye kama yuko ulimwengu mwingine kabisa. Lakini hawa watu wanatakiwa wapawe kipaumbele, watambuliwe, washughulikiwe, wanahitaji madawa.
Jinsi vile wanaweza kusaidiwa. Naona vile sasa hizi mahospitali ya serikali tumejaribu kuwapeleka, lakini napunguza tu, lakini ni shida yenye ugonjwa yenye haisi.
Mental health varies from mild to extreme. There are also some situations which are very unique, like almost suicidal cases.
All right, and those are sentiments from Kenyans regarding that, and of course, a very pertinent issue that we'll continue having conversations around. Let's now take a very short break here on NTV Weekend Edition. When we come back, we still have a lot more we've lined up for you. Stay tuned.
Welcome home to Amani Ridge, the place of peace, your own urban sanctuary. A lifestyle waiting for you just 20 kilometers from the CBD. A place to unwind and get your health and fitness goals attained. A secure place for your family. A place for your children to have fun. A place to enjoy a sundowner. Success just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. Make the impossible possible. Invest in Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Luxury you can afford. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Oya ni aje, mimi ndo Jonte Fresh. Mimi ndio nimetambulika hii Gikomba yote sekta ya manguo. Jumio transform nguo ordinary za mtush zenye ziuka mna hii harufu ya bail into the freshest Iggy kosi yote. Siri ni hii Real mpya ya pink. na kushow mtushi zinang'ara kung'ara kushinda kamera. So clean, so fresh. Makastoma unaisana na history. Ninatumia aerial touch-up down ya mpya tu.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cashback. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Okash is the fastest and easiest way to apply for short-term loans from your mobile phone. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings instantly into your M-Pesa account and become a member of the Okash loyalty program to apply for discounted loans. Okash is an award-winning mobile loan service and is trusted by millions of Kenyans every day. Download the Okash application from Google Play Store and enjoy easy, safe and flexible way to apply for short-term loans. Welcome to the Okash experience.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Inakwambia bibi kuna mdenge fulani bibi yako na nywele refu yani. Kuna ngoko fulani bibi amemechali yake hadi So jado madonna na kutupinya mtu mbao. Mimi nimemjenga dhao. Gari ilikuwa salasa. Akaniambia nimjenge 17 hapa tena 30 yangu.
The way this position is tiring. Nimechoka.
Who's that? Ni shosho fulani hapa hivi.
Ati shosho.
Call for long at 1 shilling 50 cents to all networks.
Cartelo!
Dial star 544 hash to subscribe. Telkom, moving with you.
To the out-of-framers, the turtleneckers, the fringe growers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel. Join the millions that have switched to Dettol Even Tone, now also in pomegranate fragrance, a healthier skin for an even better you. Brought to you by the Kenya Consortium of Medical and Health Professionals. Dettol, be 100% sure.
Ile ugonjwa alianza nayo ilikuwa ni kama pimples kwa uso, zilikuwa zinatoka na usai. Sasa tulianza matibabu Kenyatta, na hapo ndio alipimwa akapigwa picha, na hapo ndio alionekana kuna hiyo shida.
We are talking about an infection that starts as a sore throat. The body tries to fight it, and then subsequently you have the army of the body, which is the immunity, turning against its own.
As it developed, there was the shortness of breath because the moment you try to do something, the heart, because of the infection, struggles to pump the blood to the oxygen.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching NTV Weekend Edition. And just going back to one of our earlier stories, insult and disrespect the president at your own risk. This is the resounding message coming from various leaders allied to the head of state who have now become more vocal in the boss's defense. In Kitui County, chaos almost ensued at the Building Bridges Initiative rally after leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto demanded to be allocated seats in the front row of the main dais. Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria was roughed up and almost thrown out of the venue. Vincent Odwor reports on the BBI train and the new drive to defend the president.
This weekend, the regional rally to drum up support for the BBI report was in Kitui Stadium in Kitui County. But chaos almost erupted moments after Senate Majority Leader Kipchumba Murkomen and Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria arrived and demanded to sit in the front row at the main dais.
Tunapoendelea na ratiba hii,
bitter exchange of words ensued. Kuria found himself in the wrong hands as the security personnel roughed him up. Post-Governor Charity Ngilu and other leaders warned them against disrespecting President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Nobody will abuse Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na aingie kwa mkutano wangu. Hakuna. Atolewe. atolewe.
Rais lazima apewe heshima yake. Ambaye hatapea heshima kwa rais wetu, tutamkuta kwake kwa nyumba.
Unajua mimi ni mtu mpole, lakini wakati huu nitageuza ngozi kidogo. Yule ambaye atatukana rais hatakubaliwa kufika Meru.
But ODM leader Raila Odinga maintained that those planning to sabotage the BBI process will fail. Other leaders present singled out the BBI project as the solution to the problem facing Kenyans.
Kama umebaki nje, shauri yako. Gari hii itaenda na haina breki. Inaendelea na itafika kule inaelekea.
Other leaders present singled out the BBI project as the solution to the problem facing Kenyans.
Watu wakishinda uchaguzi, watu wawili watakimbia na kiti wanaenda. Hiyo ni lazima hii mambo ya BBI iangalie. Ni lazima tupanue uongozi.
We must therefore tushikamane na ndugu Uhuru Kenyatta bila kusita. And I want to suggest BBI msitumie kugawanya wananchi.
The regional BBI rallies are seen to contribute to the formation of political realignments ahead of the 2022 general election. The next regional BBI rally will be held in Meru County on 15th of this month. Vincent Oduor, NTV in Kitui County.
All right, thanks so much, Vincent. And away from the BBI politics, the government says it will assess the damage caused by locusts and look into compensating farmers. This is according to Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya, coming on the back of cries by farmers. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has urged the government to declare the invasion of locusts in different parts of the country a national disaster. Musyoka says the government is now using a stronger pesticide with a shorter efficacy period, hence the reason the pests are dying faster. The government insists that it has the base covered and Kenyans should not be worried. This comes as the farmers in the county call on the government to compensate them for the damage left behind by the pests.
Serikali saidia. Kumeicha kwa jamba, hakuna kitu hata nini, kila kitu imekuliwa. Ndengu, mbosho na vitu hata siwezi sema, ni ile uchungu niko nayo mimi.
Tunapiga hatua pia ya kufanya assessment, tujue ni wapi chakula imekuliwa na nini kule imekuliwa, tuone vile tutasaidia wakulima huko. Kwa hivyo yule chakula yake imekuliwa asiwe na wasiwasi. Serikali iko timamu kuja kusaidia. Pia tumepiga mpango ya miezi 6 ya kupambana naso, kupambana na majai yake na kupambana hata na wale watazaliwa.
All right, and still on the same, President Uhuru Kenyatta has taken a swipe at former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri on how he addressed the locust issue. This is what he had to say.
Kwa sababu hiyo ndiyo Kenya ya amani. Wakati tunaangalia mtu sio kwa fikra ama kwa fikira ya ukabila ama ya kidini, lakini kwa fikira na uwezo ule Mungu amepatia kiongozi wa kutekeleza kazi kwa niaba ya wananchi ambaye anaongoza. Siri namna hiyo. Na hivyo ndivyo sisi tuataka. Na ndipo unaona hapa wakati tulibadilisha tu siku moja, waziri sitaki kusema, lakini tuliona kazi ikianza kutekelezwa, sio mambo ya kupiga picture. Tukaona kazi imeanza kutekelezwa. Sini namna hiyo. Na hiyo ndio kitu tunatafuta kutoka kwa kiongozi. Ukipatiwa kazi ifanye. Na usijali unatendea nani, wote ni wako na wote ni sawa. Na nataka niseme hiyo ndiyo barabara sisi tunataka kutembea.
Well, all right. And away from that, green gram farmers in Kenya could suffer missed income amounting to billions of shillings this year if an export market does not open up soon. Exporters say that Kenya's key markets, India and Pakistan, are both unavailable, meaning farmers will be stuck with excess grain but no market to offload to. Zainab explains.
India is one of the world's biggest consumers of pulses, and in fact it is believed to be the second after China because the population here is largely vegetarian. A lot of times the production of these pulses is not sufficient to satisfy the entire market's needs, and so they have to import many times.
But for the last few months, the Asian state has had a surplus harvest and banned any imports. This left Kenya with only one market, Pakistan. However, it also closed its doors in November 2019, leaving exporters stranded.
So when we engaged them, they told us that they had made some revisions on the rules and requirements for exporting green grams into their market.
Pakistan said it required fumigation of all grain using methyl bromide before it can issue any import permits. But Kenyan exporters say that even though they have met that requirement, they have still been denied permits, while other states are not suffering the same fate.
Some of our members in Ethiopia have received permits, export permits, and also some members from Tanzania have received. And interestingly, the conditions that have been attached to the import permits that have been given from Pakistani are different from the ones that have been set for Kenya.
In the last season, Tharaka Nithi, Makueni, Kitui and Machakos counties had a bumper harvest with an estimated 60,000 metric tons valued at slightly over 5 billion shillings on the international market.
We are very worried because that means that we will not have a market for our green grams and the prices are going to crash.
A kilo currently fetches about 50 shillings on the local market, rising to about 70 shillings when exported. The Eastern Africa Grain Council says it has engaged both the Kenyan and Pakistani governments about the permit delays, but is yet to receive any response. The Ministry of Agriculture, however, says that consultations are underway and that a solution will be found soon. Zainab, NTV.
All right, thanks Zain for that report, and we're going to take another short break here on NTV Weekend Edition. We have still a lot more stories we've lined up for you, plus some sporting action. Stay tuned.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
I am pleased by just the simple little things of life. And I promise if you take the time, you won't be looking for too long before you find this little secret of mine.
Meru County Government brings you the first ever Mount Kenya Mountain Running Championship on 22nd February 2020. Come run for a cause to fight cancer, boost environmental conservation and promote Meru County as a tourist destination. The proceeds from this run go towards the building of the first ever Cancer Institute in Meru Level 5, which will be used to do research on cancer, create awareness, advise on preventive measures, offer diagnosis and treatment. Register to be part of the event at www.mountkenyarunmeru.co.ke. Challenging the heights.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
you a KCSE graduate, congratulations! Achieve your career dream by enrolling for a rewarding course with KASNEB. KASNEB is a professional examination body with a mandate to offer globally recognized professional, diploma, and certificate qualifications through various accredited institutions. Enroll now for professional qualification whose entry grade is C+, diploma in credit management or accounting technician diploma course whose entry requirement is a C- in KCSE, or for certificate in accounting and management skills comes with a minimum grade of D plain. For more details, call 020-4923-000 or visit our website on www.kasneb.or.ke. KASNEB, be empowered.
All right, thanks so much for staying with us now. Have you ever imagined what a conversation with a waiter serving you at a restaurant would lead to? For Jihan Abbas, it was the push of faith she needed to start an unconventional business of providing digital motor vehicle insurance. Gina Kirori brings us her journey in this week's Women and Power.
In Jihan Abbas's office, there is no air of authority when she walks in. But make no mistake about it, she is the boss.
Right here.
At just 26 years old, she is the founder and CEO of the first digital insurance company in Kenya, which allows users to register and pay for their car insurance in just 2 minutes.
When I was about, I think, 22, 23, is when I started to read about the insurance penetration levels in Africa, after meeting with the waiter and him telling me that he doesn't have health insurance. So that really made me start to ask myself, in Kenya, for example, why are there 52 companies and less than 3% market penetration? So then I started to do some more research around that. And then that's how and why I decided to set up Griffin.
Her journey started in Nyali, Mombasa County, where her entrepreneurial spirit is rooted.
At that time, Mombasa was very small, very quiet. So I was in a very small school, but I think the main inspiration for my entrepreneurship is my dad. He's an entrepreneur as well. So seeing him in business, working and setting up his own businesses as well, made me think that that's something that I would like to do at one point in my life.
You see when you go to the dash.
This saw her go to the UK to further her studies, where her dream of being in the business environment came true.
Prior to setting up Griffin, I was working as a sugar trader in the City of London, and I traded on the New York and London markets. Being a trader obviously taught me a lot about taking risks, about being able to jump into situations without really being afraid. So that was one of the main lessons that I learned from that. It was a different environment because obviously I was working with mostly men, so it's a different kind of atmosphere there.
And then the entrepreneurial bug hit.
When I decided to quit my job in London, I called my dad first, and he thought I was crazy because at that point I was starting from scratch. But I was quitting a job in which it was a really good job, and I decided to set that aside in order to come and actually tackle this problem. But with time, he was able to understand.
The leap of faith also came in tow with
fear. I think that's something that you're bound to experience because it's taking a big risk. The team here is 15 people, or 14 people right now, and all these people rely on me. So obviously there's a fear on that, and there's also a fear that the market is not going to be responsive to what you're offering. I think the biggest problem is raising funding. As a woman, it's very difficult, and as an African woman, it's also very difficult. So both of those factors play a big role. A lot of the investors here that come into the space are mostly from outside Kenya, and they mostly invest in companies that are founded by foreigners as well. Straight to the office.
If she visited the waiter who kick-started the whole idea today, he would hardly believe how far she has come in revolutionizing the way that car insurance works in the country.
Explained all the limits.
Yeah. In the future, she also hopes to branch into health insurance. It has been a long but interesting journey for the 26-year-old, whose colleagues describe as challenging convention.
That it's live.
Gina Kirori, NTV, reporting for Women and Power.
This is all.
All right, and definitely quite an inspiration there. Thank you so much, Gina Kirori, for that. Now, the world marks the Global Wetlands Day on Sunday, that is today or tomorrow, under the theme Wetlands and Biodiversity. Nakuru County's Kiptunga Forest is home to the Enapuyapui, which will host the national celebrations tomorrow. Over the years, destruction of the Mao complex has not spared this wetland, and now efforts are underway to restore it, as Bridget Ngana reports.
In the quiet of the Kiptunga Forest, the Enapuyapui wetland soldier zone, she was once swelling with water, colonized by lush thickets of bamboo. Now she's a pale shadow of her former self, although battered, still giving life to the Amalo and Nyangores tributaries that birth the Great Mara River.
So hapo ulipo, it was totally covered by bamboo. Alafu wakati sasa policies ya serikali ilikuja ikabadilika, tulipata kwamba miti imefyekwa, msitu imefyekwa huku na kupandwa miti za kisasa ambazo ni za biashara.
Not only are wetlands vital sources of water, but they also host nearly 2/5 of the world's plant and animal species. But wetlands are now 3 times likely to be extinct than forests.
Wetlands are very important areas as far as the sustainability of humans and wildlife is concerned. They are very key in carbon sequestration.
Here in Kiptunga Forest, the government, through the Ewasongiro South Development Authority, has begun fencing the Enapuyapui wetland. A community participation approach has been adopted by authorities.
They are there on the ground. Sometimes it is the same people who encroach into the forest. And when they decide not to do that, then definitely we will have sustainable conservation.
We have, of course, provided watering points for the community and for the cattle. We will expect that they'll continue also managing the specific springs.
Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko is expected to lead the national celebrations of World Wetland Day on Sunday here at Enapuyapui in the Kiptunga Forest. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Now, Dominic Kimengich is officially the new bishop of the Catholic Church's Eldoret Diocese. The leader, who was also crowned as a Kalenjin elder, has been called upon to uphold the heart of the church in impacting society. Lois Ongoi attended the ceremony and gives us the details.
Mother of Apostles grounds in Eldoret played host to the installation of Dominic Kimengich as the Bishop of Eldoret's Catholic Church Diocese. The procedure included kissing the crucifix, his formal acceptance of his role, the reading of a letter written by Pope Francis, a statement of his confession, receiving his Catholic staff, and finally sitting on his special seat called a cathedra. This signified that Bishop Kimengich is officially in charge.
Basi mwambieni Mungu asante na muweze kuonyesha furaha yenu mkishirikiana.
I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son.
Under the Eldoret Diocese, the bishop will serve the counties of Uasin Gishu, Nandi, and Elgeyo Marakwet, coming after the late Bishop Cornelius Korir, who until his death was celebrated as a voice of reason in the region.
Count of the support and the prayer, especially of the Holy Father. Tunaomba kwenu, wakati mnaomba muombee taifa letu, lakini zaidi mtuombee kama viongozi ndio tuweze kutekeleza mapenzi ya Mungu.
The Catholic Church gifted him with a car, cattle and more. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Uasin Gishu.
All right, thanks, Lois. And that report there by Lois takes us to a very short break. When we come back, we'll be bringing you all the sporting action.
Kwa majina ni Shida Gesanga. Mimi ni mchezaji tu. Ndoto yangu mimi iko nitachezea Harambee Starlets niende ngambo. Nikirudi tasaidia mamangu kwa shida. Na ninaona hii ndoto itaanza na Betika na community.
Hii timu yenye hii msichana yangu anachezea, tulianza tukiwa na maono, tunataka tukuze talents ya wasichana, sababu wasichana huwa wanabaki nyuma na wanaenda ma street.
We are very excited because every time we see the excited faces of the young players when they get their kits and their new balls, it gives us a urge to continue investing in the communities.
Betika na community iliongeza morali kwa timu ya Gusii Starlet mpaka wakapiwa mtu mabao 23. Tukiwa na Betika na community, hii timu itaenda mbali, itacheza premier na watoto watajisaidia.
What makes my cooking fun? It's having a partner who shares my passion for healthy cooking. Avena, the new premium vegetable cooking oil, contains omega-6 and 9 and is fortified with vitamins A and D. Lunch! Thanks, partner. New Avena premium vegetable cooking oil. Now available in all leading stores.
Welcome home to Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Your own urban sanctuary. A lifestyle waiting for you just 20 kilometers from the CBD. A place to unwind and get your health and fitness goals attained. A secure place for your family. A place for your children to have fun. A place to enjoy a sundowner. Success just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. Make the impossible possible. Invest in Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Luxury you can afford. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Welcome to our big family. You see, in this family, we have fun together and we look out for each other because we care. We share whatever we have. We protect and support each other. Welcome home, where we love and care for each other. We're so excited that you're joining us.
Welcome to the new member of our Nivea family. New Nivea Petroleum Jelly Essence, enriched with glycerin for long-lasting moisture and protection.
All right, so now we look at our clip of the week. This one, well, an attention stopper. This painter had only one job and nobody stopped him. His stop sign on the road was, well, not exactly that. Motorists may just stop as they try to figure out what was written on the road. The SOTP sign was all done, and interestingly, for a job done in the open, nobody stopped him or stopped him. I guess not even he can stop reggae.
So, the Africans. Sifanye Africans, man.
Seriously, nobody stopped him, or like I said, stopped him. Let's take a break. We'll be back with a sporting action with Brian Otwal.
Welcome to our big family. You see, in this family, we have fun together and we look out for each other because we care. We share whatever we have. We protect and support each other. Welcome home, where we love and care for each other. We're so excited that you're joining us.
Welcome to the new member of our Nivea family. New Nivea Petroleum Jelly Essence, enriched with glycerin for long-lasting moisture and protection.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Umewahi jichanganya, ukanunua choko yako ikue alamu, alafu bwana yako akakuja jioni, akakula hiyo alamu akaitengeneza kitoweo. Kuna karembo hapa kananiangalia kameshaka, kamecheka mpaka lipstick huko imeisha. Anacheka na mdomo ya chwati.
Avena contains omega-6 and 9 and is fortified with vitamins A and D. New Avena Premium Vegetable Cooking Oil. Now available in all leading stores.
Okash is the fastest and easiest way to apply for short-term loans from your mobile phone. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings instantly into your M-Pesa account and become a member of the Okash loyalty program to apply for discounted loans. Okash is an award-winning mobile loan service and is trusted by millions of Kenyans every day. Download the Okash application from Google Play Store and enjoy easy, safe and flexible way to apply for short-term loans. Welcome to the Okash experience.
Ile ugonjwa alianza nayo ilikuwa ni kama pimples kwa uso, zilikuwa zinatoka na usai. Sasa tulianza matibabu Kenyatta, na hapo ndio alipimwa akapigwa picha, na hapo ndio alionekana kuna hiyo shida.
We are talking about an infection that starts as a sore throat. The body tries to fight it, and then subsequently you have the army of the body, which is the immunity, turning against its own.
As it developed, there was the shortness of breath because the moment you try to do something, the heart, because of the infection, struggles to pump the blood and the oxygen.
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Let's have a look at the day's sports news. Welcome, my name is Brian Otwal. KCB beat Zoo FC 2-1 at the Kericho Green Stadium to climb to third on the Kenyan Premier League standings. Simon Munala and Enoch Agwanda were on target for the bunkers, with Collins Neto netting Zoo's consolation. KCB are now tied on 38 points with Tusker FC. Zoo FC remain 12th with 15 points. In other results of the day, Posta Rangers were held to a 1-0 draw by Bandari at the Narok County Stadium, and Western Stima drew 1-1 against Chemelil Sugar at the Moi Stadium in Kisumu. On Sunday, league leaders Gor Mahia faced Nzoia Sugar at the Kenyatta Stadium. Kakamega Homeboys welcome Wazito FC at the Bukungu Stadium. Sofapaka play Mathare United at the Kenyatta Stadium, and Karibangi Sharks will host Kisumu All-Stars at the Kasarani Stadium. This as Ulinzi Stars take on AFC Leopards at their Afraha Stadium in Nakuru.